back by popular, or perhaps not so popular demand. Fucking you harder than St. Peter's did everybody's bracket. It's Kings of the Round Table. What's going on, everybody?
We are
It's your boy,
back, bitches.
Back, bitches. We're back more than Mike Krzyzewski's retirement tour.
Yeah.
We're back more than Gonzaga fucking us in March. Yeah, it's that time of year.
Whoa, you
We're back, baby.
Wait, we're not there anymore. Whoops. Please proceed.
What was you saying about Murray State?
Absolutely nothing.
Hey,
I was,
can we all agree?
I was saying that Kentucky is now going to outlaw the peacock in the state.
Yeah. Hey, fucked harder than St. Peter's did our bracket, baby. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, JP, joined by my main man, Murray's finest. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the inferno himself, AJ Street. What's going on, brother? Long time no chat.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back with our program that we had for a while. Chilling in Louisville tonight, watching this Texas Tech team spank Duke right now. Jesus.
Yeah, they're putting it to him, man. This could be the end of Mike Krzyzewski's run, man. Once it's over, it's over. But we'll talk about that and much more on tonight's show. We're going to talk about this. We're going to give you up-to-date information about the college basketball tournament as it progresses. We're going to give you rants. We're going to give you raves. We're going to give you interviews. We're going to give you so much more. Of course, we've also got JV. We're not talking junior varsity either. We're talking Joe Violet. Holy shit, he just made a bitch out of him. Yes, we're watching Texas Tech Duke. It's 8-2 here in the first half. Texas Tech's defense, man, it's second to go. But Joe Violet, what's going on, my brother?
Reports of our demise were greatly exaggerated. It's
No,
doing good out here, man. How you been?
You know what? We don't need no red. Never mind. Fuck him. We don't need that bullshit to stay alive. We got this forward. We're going to keep riding high like nobody's business. Good, man. Good, man. It's been a hell of a run. It's been a hell of a run. We don't recoup. We just reset. We don't recoup. We just reset. Right? I think I said that right. Fuck it. At 10 o'clock.
Exactly. We are no longer under the old umbrella. We are under Moondog Networks, Moondog brand. Going forward, you're going to be able to catch us very soon on Spotify. We're right now broadcasting off of our Facebook page of All Things Wrestling Group. And it's not just going to be just wrestling. It's going to be a mix of everything and anything. So kiss your wives, put your babies to sleep, and grab your favorite beverage, beer, moonshine, whatever you're into, and get ready for a good time.
I'll just give you guys a heads up, too. This show is not for the faint at heart. We're not under anybody else's umbrella, which means we're not under anybody else's rules. We're going to cuss. We're going to swear. We're going to say shit that's not for the faint at heart. So if you're offended by vulgarity, if you're offended by foul language, well, this probably ain't the show for you. But if you're like hard-hitting, cutting-edge radio where we call it, we see it, then this is your place. So thanks for joining us. And we're going to talk about pro wrestling. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about all things in between. What we're not going to talk about on here is politics. I promise you we're not going to politicize this shit because everywhere you fucking go, politics this, politics that. This is your break from that. You're not going to get that shit on here. I promise you. So, yeah, that's what we're not going to do. But we're going to talk about everything else, I think. Maybe.
Anyway, we're going to get started right now.
You just diverted. You just want completely avert track. I know what you did there, man. I know exactly what you did. You said, fuck all that noise. And we're just going to we're going to talk about business here tonight. Lead us off on our first topic. What do you want to talk about tonight? Let's throw some bones.
There's so much stuff that's going on right now. God, I don't know where to start. It's not only March Madness season, it's WrestleMania season. For the past, 30 years I know of, that's always been the most exciting time in wrestling history was WrestleMania. But, there's a lot more stuff going on in the world of sports and world period. We got crazy stuff in the NFL going on. We got stuff like baseball, they finally ended their lockout. I mean, they got the NBA playoffs coming up. I mean, there is so much stuff going on right now in the world of sports that if you're a sports fan, that you're just in the hog shit heaven right now.
Has this not been the craziest
playoffs
off season we've seen in the National Football League in our lifetime?
God.
I mean, and we're talking about personnel moves. Let's just do a brief recap of that here real quick. Just some of the shit we've seen since January when the offseason began for a lot of teams. I mean, you've seen news break that Tom Brady was going to retire, and then he said he's not retiring, only to retire, and then say, fuck this shit, and he unretired. We saw Ben Roethlisberger actually retire. We saw Sean Payton seemingly retire, although he's coming back next year with somebody, Dallas. Sorry, I didn't say that. We saw Brian Flores sue the National Football League. The less I got to say about that shit, the better. We saw Aaron Rodgers sign a record-setting contract with the Green Bay Packers. Seemed like for the longest time, what Aaron Rodgers did was going to be tied into Davante Adams' future. Well, we thought, only for Adams to get traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. We saw the Chargers go out and get J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack, right? We see the Broncos go out and get Russell Wilson. We see the AFC West almost become its own conference in its own right. Then the Kansas City Chiefs trade Tyreek Hill. What the fuck is going on in the NFL?
I don't know, man. I mean, this is exciting. It's like, you'd hear one or two things going on. You'd hear quarterback going here, quarterback going there. You forgot about Iceman Matt Ryan going to the Colts.
Yeah, Matt Ryan going.
Carson Wentz
going to the Commanders.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm a Titans guy, as y'all know, and shit. The only thing that we did was get Austin Hooper and Robert Woods, but I mean, still, that's pretty big for us who don't want to spend no damn money. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, it's like they're ramping up to make this to be the best season ever. I mean, they're putting stuff like this is almost like fantasy football. Seriously.
Meanwhile, my Detroit Lions have done absolute jack squat.
Which the Detroit Lions are going to continue to be the Detroit Lions.
Y'all probably end up getting fucking Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo or some shit like that.
You know what? You can have the motherfucker, the Miami Dolphins acquired. Joe, you can have the motherfucker the Dolphins just acquired. Let's go. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah,
let's get the elephant out.
Let's get it out. Let's get it out of the way.
I was about to say you would wish the Miami Dolphins would stay the same.
No, because you know what? I like a lot of the moves the Dolphins have done this offseason. I like them. I like the fact that they re-signed Emmanuel Ogbah. I think he is the jack of all trades. I think he is crucial to the development of Jalen Phillips. I like that they franchise tagged Gesicki. Okay. I love that they brought in Terron Armstead, even though Terron Armstead is, not exactly the most durable human being alive. But the fact that they're paying him less than what Jacksonville paid Christian Kirk is amazing to me. The fact that Terron Armstead is probably the second or third best offensive lineman in all of football and is making the 12th biggest salary in terms of tackles is fucking amazing to me. Okay. I love the Connor Williams signing. All these media hacks in Miami, like Alan Poupart. Yes, that's actually his name, guys. I'm not making this up. Look it up. Okay. And Omar Kelly and Joe Shad are lazy fucks that want to point at one statistic, and that's the fact that he had 12, 13, 14 penalties. They don't want to look at the fact that this guy only had 5 in his season. He averages 5, which is pretty damn good. They also don't want to look at the fact that he had a 2.28 pass protection percentage rate this season, which was third amongst qualified guards. And that every season in his career, he's 24 years old. Every season he has been either very good or if not elite as a pass protector. But they only want to point at the fact that he had fucking 15 penalties this year because they're lazy. Okay. I like what Miami's done. I like what Chris Greer's done. I fucking hate this move for Tyreek Hill. I fucking hate it. And not because of the package they gave up. Because if you look at it as a pure football perspective, okay, just on a football perspective here, answer me this question, AJ.
Okay.
Is there a player in this draft that is better than Tyreek Hill at 28 years old that they can get at 29?
It'd be very hard.
Is there a player at 50 that is better than Tyreek Hill?
It'd be very hard.
Can you tell me at a 4th round pick or a 6th round pick that is better than Tyreek Hill? Can you guarantee me any of these picks that the Miami Dolphins gave up that are guaranteed to be not top 5 in their position?
No, I can't. I mean, because honestly, I mean, these players, I mean, as you know, I mean, how long have we watched pro sports? You know, it's like the draft. You get guys like, for instance, Derrick Henry. Nobody in the right fucking mind thought Derrick Henry was going to be as good as Derrick Henry is right now. They thought he was some 2nd round running back, you know. You never know what you're going to get, but from what they have right now, that's a long shot, and that's a lot of time and money they'd have to invest in to wait around and develop. And, you know, what they got, it was smart on Miami's end. I mean, it is what it is on that. But Kansas City, man, I think there's more to it. Why they would give him up for so little, you know? I think there's so much more that we even know about that will come out, because he was commenting on Juju and Jackson doing TikTok videos in the locker room the day before the trade.
Yeah,
you know, he was commenting about that.
Exactly.
He was giving them shit about that. And the next day, you know, he's getting traded. I mean, he didn't like the fact that Juju brought in. You think about it.
You know what?
You think about
He's a bitch.
Yeah.
He's a bitch. And I'm going to say this right now, and this is why I don't like the deal. I'm sitting here sounding like I'm humping this bitch up. Okay, that I'm enjoying this trade. And on a football perspective, sure. Football only. Yeah. I can't shit on it. Football only. You got Tyreek Hill on one side. You got Jalen Waddell on the other one. Good luck stopping that motherfucker. Good luck. Tyreek Hill allegedly has beat the fuck out of his baby mama more than once. There have been serious allegations of him having, him abusing the mother of his children more than once. They followed him in college. They followed him in the NFL. There were tapes that were released to the public threatening the mother of his children. There was tapes of him talking about beating his 3-year-old son with a fucking belt, of breaking his 3-year-old son's fucking arm. There had been allegations of him abusing his fucking son. Okay. And we can sit on here and talk all day about disciplining kids. Okay. There's disciplining your children. I'm a father myself. I've disciplined my kids. I don't let my kids rule the roost. AJ, you're a father. You don't let your kids rule the roost, okay?
Nope.
Beating your kids' ass, especially a fucking 3-year-old with a belt. What the fuck is that? Breaking your kid's arm? That's not a discipline. That's being a punk bitch bully. And I don't want that shit on my fucking team. I don't want that shit in the league. I don't care if Tyreek Hill, and everybody's telling me, well, look how much better he makes the team. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if Tyreek Hill I don't care if he shatters every single NFL receiving record in the book, whether it be single season or all time, as a member of the Miami Dolphins. I don't care if the Dolphins go to the next 16 Super Bowls and this fucking guy has 600 receiving yards per game, catches 6 touchdowns, including the game winner of every single one. I'm never going to like this deal. I'm never going to support this deal, and I'm never going to root for this motherfucker as a human being because of what he supposedly did to his kid or his girlfriend. There is no room in my place for people like that.
And
adult. Go ahead.
And there shouldn't be. You know, it's like you have players that, and it's like, yeah, the NFL is a rough sport, but it's like it's acceptable now for you to abuse people and treat them like crap, like Alvin Kamara did to that guy. It's like acceptable. You get a slap on the hand, 6-game suspension, 3-game suspension. But you got a dude like, look at Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley bet $1,500 and he suspended a whole season. You got Josh Gordon that smokes weed that's legal in half the United States, and he's fucking banned from the league. But you get, I mean, those are, in my opinion, are petty things. You know, I mean, big deal. He's not hurting nobody. He's relaxed. Weed. I mean, I've never smoked it. I've been around people who's done it, but it's a relaxant drug. It's like alcohol, calms you down. You know, you're not acting a fool really. But they're going to punish hardcore for things like that. Placing a bet in a legal state. It's not like he's going to Kentucky and placing illegal bets here. And, you know, it's like they're doing that and they're getting banished basically from the league, or, you know, the hardest thing. And you go have somebody that's going to beat the hell out of a wife, beat the kids, kick them down the,
Yeah.
you know, and look what's being done with them. You know,
I mean,
it's
Michael
like,
Vick got kicked out for a while. He's back now, or was back.
You suspend Calvin Ridley for a year for $1,500 while they fuck for betting on football, while they have a team in Las fucking Vegas, okay, while they have several sponsorship deals with betting sites, okay. This motherfucker fucking is on video talking about beating his kid with a fucking belt, threatening, saying you should be scared, has serious allegations of fucking abuse towards his wife and his girlfriend and his fucking son, and he gets nothing.
You know, it's funny you guys bring these guys up, because this reminds me of something I'd like to address: the inconsistency of punishments in the NFL. You guys are talking about Calvin Ridley, Josh Gordon, Tyreek Hill. What about Deshaun Watson?
No, he'll get it. You know, there's talks of him getting suspended. I'll believe it when I see it.
And
You know what? Because
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the problem. You have what seems like arbitrary punishments being handed down by Roger Goodell.
He picks and fucking chooses. You know, I'll give credit where it's due. When Ray Rice punched that girl in the fucking elevator, his career was effectively over then. And it should be. It should be. And I know this is a macho society nowadays. You're not a man if you punch a fucking girl. You're a bitch. You're a punk pussy motherfucker. You're not a fucking man if you abuse a kid. You're a coward who should be flushed down the fucking dredges of toilet, that's life's toilet bowl. Okay? Straight up. And I mean that as a straight shoot. If you abuse a woman or a child, you are a scour on fucking society who should be flushed. Straight up. But, you know, and I know that's the way people think. Oh, that's what some fucking asshole. I was arguing on Twitter with some fucking douchebag the other day about fucking, what's the dickhead's name? Kareem Hunt, right? I was arguing with some dick on there about Kareem Hunt, and he blamed the girl. This should have been a learning experience for who she associates with. You want to act like trash, you get treated by it. Then let me throw you the fuck down and kick you. Fuck you, punk. Anyway, you know, this is though that's like we hand down these suspensions leniently, but we're gonna crack the whip on Josh Gordon for smoking fucking weed on his free time. Who does Josh Gordon hurt? Who does Josh Gordon harm by fucking smoking weed?
nobody. It's just that somebody can't tell him what to do.
Because we want to control these motherfuckers.
The NFL has become so commercialized. They have so many different sponsorship deals with so-and-so, whoever. They got their hands in so much now. They're probably worried about public image. So I think Goodell, I've said for years, Roger Goodell is not a players commissioner. He's not a fans commissioner. He is a money commissioner. All he cares about is revenue.
Well, let me tell you. Go ahead. Well, let me tell you a little secret here. You're worried about public image. I would more. You want public image? I'm more worried about the public image of some asshole beating up his freaking wife and some asshole breaking his 3-year-old son's arm. That gives a worse black eye to the sport. That gives a bigger fucking stain on the sport than Josh Gordon sitting in his freaking apartment or his home or a hotel somewhere and hitting a bong.
Oh, no.
I don't give a shit if Josh Gordon taps on a bong. I don't care if Josh Gordon Cheech and Chongs it and tokes up 24/7, 365 in his free time. I could give a shit. It harms nobody.
I'm not disagreeing with you anyway whatsoever. I'm just pointing out the fact that, Roger Goodell, all he cares about is drawing revenue from these superstars. Sure, you can. Yeah, sure, you can beat on your girlfriend as long as you're making us millions of dollars.
Sure.
That's kind of the message he's sending out.
Sure. Absolutely. He's a fucking hypocrite. He is. He's a fucking hypocrite. If Tyreek Hill was some four-string backup, or if Deshaun Watson was give me a random name here. Give me some. If Deshaun Watson was not Tyreek Hill, if he was Tyrod Taylor, his ass would have been kicked out of the fucking league. Come on now. Let's be real. If he was a third-string quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts or the Washington Commanders or the New York Jets, his ass would be fucking banned from the league. Please.
The fact that Michael Vick didn't get banned from the league completely after the dog fight incident.
I've seen people get banned for worse. I've seen people get banned for less.
And that just emphasizes the point, and that this isn't a new thing that's going on. Roger Goodell has been doing this for years. He just looks at certain players. He's like, "Oh, fine his ass, suspend his ass, whatever." And it's completely dependent on how much money. If you look at the pattern, it is completely dependent on how much money they can make or they are making for the league. I said the same thing and noticed the same trend when Ndamukong Suh was playing for the Lions. Granted, Suh was making some incredibly dirty hits, still does to this day. But Roger Goodell has a tendency to zero in on certain players.
Speaking of that,
he's not consistent. The NFL as a whole is not consistent with their punishment system anymore, with their disciplinary systems.
Speaking of that, we got two players on the hot seat right now. We got Alvin Kamara that just got, I think, about a month and a half ago, Pro Bowl. It's back in February, week before Super Bowl, that got on the elevator with his entourage, and there was a guy in front of him, and he pushed out of the way and stomped severely. It was all over the news. I'm sure a lot of you listeners heard about it. And then you got the other person in the hot seat, Deshaun Watson, with all the sexual misconduct accusations that he has against him that basically has been waved off and told today that they ain't gonna do fucking nothing about it. He's not gonna be indicted on anything. Now the league could still step in and investigate, and they could suspend him for him drawing negative attention to the league. But where do you think the NFL is going to stand with this? I mean, I'm hearing 3 to 6 game suspension for Kamara for what he did. I've seen the pictures this dude posted on Facebook, not Facebook, but Twitter, for what Kamara and his crew did to him. Man, it fucked him up pretty bad. He's in the hospital. And, they even let Kamara play the Pro Bowl knowing that he did this and he was going to cooperate. That's the only reason the NFL said they let him play, because they knew he was going to cooperate with the police afterwards. I mean, is that the image that, you want these young men that's playing football, my son included, thinking it's okay, you act this way, you're going to get, if you're a star, you're going to get a slap on the wrist, you can get away with murder. Literally almost get away with murder. I mean, I can name a couple players right now that probably did, and nothing being done to them because of who they are. So my question to you guys is, where do you think Deshaun Watson and Kamara stands? In your opinion, how do you see it unfolding?
Well, Watson may have got off legally. That doesn't stop him from getting hammered with the civil suits. What this does for the league, what the league does, I don't know. I mean, if you want to look at what the Texans did, he was basically benched the entire damn year last year. They may play that as, well, he served his year suspension. That's fucking horseshit, the shitty cop-out. And if that's the approach the league takes, then Roger Goodell sucks even bigger ass than we even knew. I'm just going to say this, and some people are saying, well, the legal system didn't find him guilty, therefore he's innocent. I'm sorry, fellas. One person, maybe. Two people, maybe. when 20 fucking 2 women come out and say something, I find it hard to believe that 22 women would fucking lie. I'm sorry. And I know it's easy to sit there and say, well, Deshaun Watson's a hell of a player. No doubt. I'm not disputing that. Tyreek Hill's a hell of a player. Okay. Some people would tell you Ted Bundy was a hell of a nice guy. That doesn't mean that he's not a sick fuck. And before we sit there and tell you, okay, well, innocent till proven guilty, he wasn't found guilty. What if that was your daughter? What if that was your sister or your aunt, your cousin? What if that was one of your loved ones? Would you still be singing this tune? Would it matter to you that Deshaun Watson threw for 4,900 yards in 2020? Would it make a difference? We quickly forget about these things when it's not our fucking loved one. It's somebody we don't know. So who gives a shit? What's going to happen to Deshaun Watson? I don't know. What's going to happen to Alvin Kamara? I don't know. Probably going to get a fucking slap on the wrist. I don't think the Browns would have given up that much draft capital if they expected he's going to get benched for 6 games. I don't. He might miss a game or two. I mean, they certainly haven't done anything to lead me to believe that. I mean, the Browns brought in the scrapes of the Dolphins shit heap and Jacoby Brissett to, be his backup. I don't think they brought him in with expectations that he's going to start more than a game or two.
Whatever action the NFL takes or does not take is just going to reaffirm what I just said a couple of minutes ago. That's going to be a major tell. It's going to either say that, what we're saying here tonight is 100% spot on, or maybe we've got it a little bit wrong. Now, personal opinion, like you said, JP, one person, okay, maybe they're lying. 2 people, maybe. But you can't tell me that many women came forward and he didn't do at least something not kosher with at least one of them.
100%.
And as far as Kamara goes, if they had footage on tape of him and his entourage beating the hell out of this person, that's pretty damning proof, in my opinion. So, whether the NFL decides to act upon it or not, that's going to be a major tell for what they're going to let people get away with, depending on their prestige for the league. I hate to sound like a broken record, but gentlemen, this is a problem. This is going to be a potentially huge problem if it continues.
Well,
What's
is
to
it?
say the NFL won't try to spin the footage as them trying to protect themselves?
Look, the Roger Goodell, the league will always protect the shield. That's just the bottom line. They've always protected the shield. They always will protect the shield. They're going to protect it at all costs. And they will try to spin this shit no matter what. I mean, you can't hide forever, though. Like Joe said, there is enough. If the video evidence is there, you cannot run from this fucking shit. You can't. You can't run from this. You can't run from what's right in front of you. You can't run from the indisputed proof. And I know people will sit there and say again, you know what? What do you, and I've heard this so many times. Well, they're not saints. I know. I've worked in media. I've been around these dudes. I've been around them in MMA. I've been around them in athletics. I understand they're not saints. I'm not one. Is anybody in this chat a saint? No, we all have our fucking we all have our fucking fill in my blanks here, AJ. You know what I'm saying.
We all have our fucking demons and we have our own fucking vices and shit.
Vices, thank you. We all have our vices. None of us have a fucking golden halo. I sure as hell don't. But I'll tell you right now, there's nothing that I can say I've done. There's nothing that you can say you've done, AJ. There's nothing you can say you've done, Joe or Joey, that I can look my son in the eye or my fucking 20-year-old daughter in the eye and say, I'm ashamed of that. All right? I certainly didn't fucking sexually accost 22 women. I certainly didn't randomly beat the shit out of fucking some dude in the streets. No, I'm not going to lie to you. If my kids were in danger, I would beat the fuck out of a guy in the street. You're damn straight I would. Damn straight. So with Kamara, I'm not going to totally crucify the guy because I don't know the full fucking story. That I will say. I'm not going to crucify him. I don't know what's going on there.
I will hold fault if it didn't take that many people to beat the shit out of one guy.
What's that?
I said I will fault him in the fact that it didn't take that many people to beat the hell out of one guy.
You're right. I mean, this is a high-level professional athlete. Why it took 6 people to beat the fuck out of one dude, I don't know.
But we also don't know if it was Kamara doing the punching. It could be one of his members in Entourage, you know? Don't know exactly.
True.
Yeah.
It's still guilty by association.
Valid point. Valid point. I don't know the story. I said I don't know the whole backstory, but I know 6 people beating the fuck out of one random pedestrian dude. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good for Alvin Kamara. And this is unacceptable bullshit. This gives the fucking National Football League a bad look. It gives him a bad look, a terrible look. And the league needs to step up. And I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what suspension is handed out, is it going to be enough? Is this shit going to be enough? Honest question for all of you. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be satisfactory?
I think they need to set an example. And I used to be against that term. But look, I mean, the facts are facts. You got so much of this stuff and accusations going on in the league. You know, I mean, this ain't the only reason that we're hearing about it is because of the players that they are. Like you said, JP, if it was Tyrod Taylor, Geno Smith, Matt Barkley, Jordan Rogers,
fucking fifth string running back for the Bills, Matt Breida, fucking some bum that's fucking on the practice squad. Keep going.
You wouldn't hear about this going on or a big deal about it because they're nothing, and they would be like, all right, you're gone, and that'd be the end of it. But because they have been set such a high standard in the public eye in their positions and, you know, hyped up as the way they are, you know, and I want you listeners to understand that this is a bitch session that we don't like these players, you know, and we're picking on them. It's just that, you know, they're pieces of shit to human beings that, you know, us as a society accepts their actions. You know, be like me. I mean, hell, in wrestling, you know, I grew up and I've heard horror stories from my dad and my granddad of what, you know, some of these wrestlers that, you know, that people bow down and kiss their ass does to young children in a bathroom. You know, they'll be at a show and bring a girl into a bathroom, a young girl, and, you know, sexually assault her. But it's hush hush, thrown on the rug. I mean, for God's sakes, Jimmy Snuka killed a girl, and Vince McMahon goes into a room with a briefcase, basically told him, hey, we're not going to talk about this, but we're going to give you money to shut up. And he gets away scot-free until his deathbed on murder, you know? I mean, this is the society that we live in. And, you know, it's, again, we're not picking on certain players because we don't like them. It's just that, you know, it's just their actions. You know, we're going to hold them accountable for what they do.
I like the example you used there, AJ, about Jimmy Snuka, because at the rate that Goodell and the rest of the NFL brass are going at this rate, the lengths that they are going to protect these players, it's going to wind up the same way.
Okay.
And I don't know about you guys, but that bothers me.
I want to know your opinion on this. Say tomorrow we turn on the news, we turn on ESPN, pick up our phones. We just talked about Tom Brady coming back from retirement, okay? You know, he made the comment that he wasn't ready to be home. Say him and Giselle gets into an argument because she wants him home, and he snaps. And, you know, I believe Tom wouldn't have a bone in his body, but I don't know the guy. So
he put his bone in Giselle's body a few times, but anyway, keep going.
Yeah. How would everybody react to that? Everybody calls him the greatest of all time. You know, it's like Jordan. Jordan had all these, you know, the stuff that Jordan did. You know, everybody holds Michael Jordan up to this high standard. Jordan was an alcoholic. Jordan was a gambler. Jordan was, I mean, the Last Dance revealed Jordan of who he really is, and they seen what kind of a prick he was. And a lot of people changed their tune about him. But say tomorrow, you know, the GOAT of the NFL beats the hell out of Giselle, breaks his kid's arms, and just goes on this drunken tirade, what's the NFL going to do? Do you think the NFL is going to suspend him? No.
The thing is, we gloss over so much of this shit because we glorify these fucking people. That's the problem. We glorify these people and we put them on such a high pedestal because they entertain us and they're damn good at it. That's the problem. And the league knows they make them a shitload of money. Let's be honest, AJ. Let's be honest, Joe. You brought it up. Has it jumped that shark? You can argue, and I know he was a retired player at the time, but it jumped that fucking shark with OJ. Let's be realistic. It jumped that fucking shark when OJ shanked his wife and Ron Goldman.
Yeah, it did. And I think that's what caused a lot of the nation to actually eyes wake up then. I remember being in sixth or seventh grade literature class, and we had the TV on and Johnny Cochran standing right there by OJ. And whenever they read the verdict of OJ not guilty and being acquitted for murder, the reaction, I remember sitting there looking around that classroom and I'm seeing so many people crying. I mean, young kids crying because they knew that this monster did this, and that it's okay. That it's okay that you just mauled your ex-wife and her boyfriend. It's okay because of who you are. We're going to let it go. It just shows that, we're not protected as human beings against another person, because of their standing,
But, well, let me ask you this though. And I think you all know the answer to this. This is just more of a hypothetical than anything else. If same scenario, Tom Brady, and again, guys, this is strictly a hypothetical. I won't even throw Tom Brady out there. Fuck it, Tom Brady works. Tom Brady wakes up tomorrow, gets a wild hair up his ass, and fucking shanks Giselle. God willing, he doesn't do this. Wakes up tomorrow, shanks Giselle, however the fuck you say her name, in a fit of rage. And we went through this with Chris Benoit when he shanked his wife and his son. If Tom Brady pulls the same card, there are going to be people out there that still lick his fucking ass, that say he's innocent, that there are still assholes to this day that swear Chris Benoit didn't fucking do it, even though his own best fucking friend says he did it. Okay? There are fucking people that would say the same about Tom Brady, that would deny it, what a great fucking player he was. And if we were talking about Harry Buttfuck McGee, who works the cash register down at the damn White Castle in Paducah, Kentucky, or the 7-Eleven or the Wawa in fucking Villanova, Pennsylvania, do we give a shit? Or are we calling him a worthless scumbag who needs to rot in hell?
We're as a society, we're going to call him a fucking dirtbag, needs to rot in hell. And there's going to be people.
So go ahead, keep going.
There's going to be people kissing Brady's ass. I mean, that's just the world we live in. That's who we glorify. That's who we want to pay to watch. Who we want to pay to win. And we can't accept good people in our eyes doing bad things.
Why?
Because
some people. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Joey. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because some people view the world in rose-tinted VR goggles, not even real glasses.
But bro, Chris Benoit, I'm telling you this. Chris Benoit at the time was one of my fucking favorite wrestlers that ever put on the fucking boots. Okay. I was in the business. I had been in the business, and not in a small way. You all know this. I would go to shows and pay just to see Chris Benoit. I was at the fucking event in Baltimore when he wrestled Kevin Sullivan as a fucking paying spectator. Okay. Chris Benoit was my dude. The moment he fucking shanked Nancy and Daniel, it all died with him. It all died. idolized Chris Benoit. That day, any merchandise I had of Chris Benoit, I bagged it up. I fucking threw it in the trash bin. Why can't everybody else do that? And I'm not perfect. Fuck. Dan Marino is my dude. I would, if he did that to his wife and kids, Dan Marino was my boyhood idol. If he shanked his wife and fucking kids, I would turn on him like a fucking dog too.
Let me follow up with you on that, JP. Chris Benoit was my favorite wrestler of all time, bar none. So
we're on agreement with that. Go ahead.
When I heard that he had killed his wife and his son, I said, okay, let's see when the proof comes out what happens. Till then, I'm standing behind my favorite wrestler. Slowly, the proof started to filter in. And I'm just like, okay. It took me a while to accept it, but I said, okay. As a wrestler, as a performer, he was phenomenal. But as a man, he has just destroyed every bit of credibility he ever had as a man when he did that. And it's hard to differentiate the two.
I can't separate the worker from the man, bro. I just can't. I can't do it. And I'm not saying they're saints. I mean, Joe, who have I told you is tops my list of there are two dudes who are my favorite of all time in pro wrestling. You know who they are.
Piper and I'm going to blank.
The Rock.
The Rock. Yeah.
Piper and Rock. And Rod and I were boys. You know that. Roddy Piper and I were boys.
Yeah.
I loved Roddy Piper as a human being. I loved him. Roddy was no fucking saint, dude. Roddy Piper was no fucking saint. I will tell you that right now. Roddy would have told you he was no fucking saint. Okay? Roddy had as many demons and skeletons in his fucking closet as anyone. But there was those two demons. Roddy fucking worshiped the ground his wife and kids walked on. Yes, Roddy would have never harmed a hair on his wife and kids' heads. Roddy wouldn't have fucking put a paper cut on Kitty or Colton or Ariel, okay? Or fucking, Roddy would have never fucking done anything to his kids, any of them, or his grandkids. And Roddy was, like I said, Roddy was no saint. Roddy wouldn't have hurt Teal. He wouldn't have hurt Ariel. He wouldn't have hurt Colt. Never would have thought of it.
No, he wouldn't have. No. And there's a lot of guys like that. But there's also a lot of guys, like I said, that, we idolize. Ric Flair, in my opinion, he is the lowest of low pieces of shit motherfuckers that ever walk the fucking face of the earth. That's my opinion on that son of a bitch. Jerry Lawler, same boat.
Lawler's a pervert. Look, the cat that just fucking died. God rest his soul. Rest in fucking peace. He had a fucking list of skeletons 1.5 miles long too.
Hell yeah, he was falling out. You said it on one of our previous recordings back in November that word was getting out that he was drinking again and he was going back off the wagon. He's falling off the wagon again.
I told you guys that shit fucking months before Sean Waltman came out with it. But you know what? That didn't make him less of a fucking human. He never fucking beat his wife.
No, he supported his son, Cody.
He never fucking right. He never fucking harmed his kids. I mean, Scott Hall would have been the first to tell you he wasn't father of the fucking year. But he never harmed his kids. The only person Scott Hall ever harmed with his shit was Scott Hall.
Yep.
I think we got everybody tagged.
Yep. And I mean, that's 100% legit. I mean, you got some of these people that, they have their own demons and they battle the demons themselves and they don't want to bring nobody down that hole with them. But then you have people that can't handle themselves and need seriously fucking therapy. And the people that they're working for, these wrestling promotions, sports organizations, know they need this help, but they're bringing in that revenue, so they can't risk having them off of the TV, off of the show.
And I
mean, that's the biggest.
Go ahead.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing in America. And I mean, just not by sports or anything. And this is what really hurts me a lot. A lot of y'all know this past year and a half has been hell for me. You know, I ain't afraid to come out and say it. My wife left, came back, and you know,
Bro, you don't have to reveal any of this shit on
I
here.
know, but you know, it's just, I've had a whirlwind of a fucking year, and you know, mental health of a man. We don't talk about that stuff. You know, it's like we're and I'm not saying it's an excuse for some of these ways, like a Tyreek Hill, a Deshaun Watson, an Alvin Kamara, a Chris Benoit. I'm not saying that's an excuse. This is what I'm about to say. But as a man, the way you're viewed in the society today, you're not allowed to show weakness. You're not allowed to show pain. You're made fun of. You become a meme. I mean, for God's sakes, you look at Will Smith. He broke down national TV because he found out Jada cheated on him. Kanye and Kardashian whore. You know, she's playing with his mind and his emotions. You know, and Pete, what's his name, is sitting there taunting him all the damn time what he's doing to his wife. And then you got Tyrese, who just wants to see his daughter. I mean, I shared this on Facebook a couple of days ago, and it really hit home because it's like, you know, as a man, that whenever you go through all this stuff, it's not accepted for you to have mental illness. You're supposed to be strong, and we keep it bottled up. And this past year and a half, man, I'm telling you, I've hit rock bottom, and I had to do a lot of soul searching. But you know, I knew I needed to surround myself with good people like you guys, and y'all were there for me. I remember the days that I hit rock bottom. I reached out to positive people, and y'all were there for me. I remember that day very well. You three people, and there's one other one that's not on the show, that's never been on the show, was there for me. And I'd hate to know where I would be at if it wasn't for you. And you know, I mean, I'll publicly say that there's four of y'all that I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for you guys. And I wish that these people with these problems that has these mental issues, that you know, because it exists, they speak up and do something about it. You know, get help and admit it, and not use alcohol, not use abuse of your loved ones to take it out on. You know, you go seek that help that you need, rather than make someone else suffer for your own demons. And that's, I mean, I know I give a long story about it before I get to the point. Don't mean to do that, but you know,
No, take your time.
I think about it all the time. How much mental health there is in the world with men. Look at Delonte West. If it wasn't for Mark Cuban, this dude would be dead. I mean, he was homeless. He was doing drugs. He made mistakes with his wife. He thought he was low, so he stayed on the streets. He didn't have to. He stayed on the streets because he thought that's all he was worth. I mean, you see it, but we don't talk about it because in the world, we're not allowed to talk about that stuff, especially a man. JP, I know you've had a lot of stuff going on this past year and a half personally too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Joe, you as well. I mean, 2 years ago around Christmas, or I know what was going on for you, man. Joey, you as well.
Yeah,
But the thing is,
it's
we
a
talk
constant
about it.
daily.
You know, we talk about this stuff because we know that's the best way to handle it. But we're also not held to that public standard of you have to have that image of you're this person or that person. And it's sickening. It's sickening.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing. Anybody listening, it's the same thing I told you, AJ, when you were revealing the shit to me, what you were going through. I'm gonna tell you what you've told me when I've gone through shit, and I'm gonna reveal it on here. I deal with bipolar. I deal with fucking severe depression. I deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm not going to reveal what caused it because that's my cross to fucking bear. Okay. I deal with all the fucking parameters of fucking post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety. And there are days to where I don't even want to get the fuck out of bed. And believe me, if it weren't for my kids and my wife, I probably fucking wouldn't. In fact, if it weren't for my family, I probably wouldn't be on this fucking planet anymore. That's a God honest truth. Okay. And I've had a hell of a support system from you guys. AJ, how many days have I fucking just not wanting to be a burden on my family? I've gone to you and just bitched and bitched and bitched and bitched. And it seems like petty fucking garbage, but it's really not. To when you're going through anxiety, nothing's petty. This is a fucking talk to anybody out there. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you can't have real raw emotions. It's like I tell my son, it doesn't make you a pussy. It doesn't make you a wimp. It doesn't make you less of a man because you have these feelings. And that's the fucking way we were raised. That's the society we're brought up in, that only females can have these thoughts. That's horseshit. That is a complete horseshit belief. We all go through the same things. And let me tell you, the last 2 years has been a nut smash for a lot of people. Okay. We all go through raw emotions. We all go through hell in a handbasket in life. Some of us get it worse than others. Okay. But that doesn't diminish the fact that we all go through shit and we all go through emotions and we all go through hurt and heartache and pain. You don't have to fucking bottle it. You don't have to hide from it. You don't have to mask it because the societal norm says it's not right. Fuck what the society norms say. Fuck what people that say you're weak because you express it. Because you know what? Then you hide it, you bottle it up, and then you wind up like Robin Williams. Fuck that. I'd rather sit there, and I told you, AJ, that one day, I don't care if it's fucking 5 in the fucking morning. If you need somebody to talk to, hit me up. I can't say I'll get right back to you because I'm probably either asleep or getting, something going on. You can figure out what something going on is, but I'd rather fucking listen to you fucking talk to me than find out later on that something happened and I could have fucking, you needed a listening ear.
Yep, and that is 100% legit. I'd be at work and I'm having a horrible day, things going on at home, and I reach out to you, or I'll see on Messenger that you or any of us is having a bad day. Joe, I can't tell you how many times that I check on you if I don't hear from you for a while. I'll be like, hey man, are you okay? It's common courtesy as a fucking human being.
Yeah.
You check on people because people, we were put on this earth, and I ain't trying to get all biblical and reverend mode here, but we were put on this earth to care for one another. That's why we have compassion. That's why we have conscience. That's why it eats at us whenever we do other people wrong. That's why we feel bad, because that's not how our DNA is made up. But the thing is, we also live in a world where it's not cool to get involved in things. It's not cool. You don't want to get involved. You don't want your name on it. So you stand back and we laugh at the people and pick fun at them, or do that to make ourselves feel better for our own guilt for not stepping in and being a voice or being that one person that they need.
There's a term that I actually discussed this with some of my friends quite a bit. It's called toxic masculinity. And let me ask you guys this. I mean, I'm not meaning to cut this off or anything like that, but you think maybe some of these pro athletes are victims of that toxic masculinity?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, you think about how they grew up, their background, where they grew up, and what they are now. So they try to stand to us different. They try to be someone that they're not.
You got to put on a mask.
Yep.
Let me tell you one of them, Antonio fucking Brown. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. And let me tell you a little secret. All this rah blah blah. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all motherfuckers. I'm just kidding. Y'all know I do. Y'all know I do. Y'all know I love y'all. I'm just fucking around with that. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. But it is, especially these athletes, you got to think of it. And I know it's easy to say, and I know assholes will come on here. Oh, they make millions of dollars. I wish I had those problems. They've also got a ton of pressure they're under. There's always somebody gunning for their fucking job. And there's assholes on social media bitching at them and saying shit behind the guise of a hidden fucking profile. It ain't easy being in that position. Halftime, Texas Tech leads Duke 33-29, 21.7 seconds left. Houston leads Arizona 33-26. March Madness scores as we speak. Tomorrow you got UNC, UCLA, got Providence playing Kansas. The ultimate Cinderella, St. Peter's takes on Purdue, and Iowa State, Miami. Those are tomorrow night's games in March Madness. Earlier tonight, Arkansas knocked off Gonzaga 74-68. Both of the teams that played in last year's college basketball championship game are bounced before the Elite Eight. A little factoid here, gentlemen. Gonzaga, since 2015, this is the fourth time they've lost in the Sweet 16. They've also lost in the championship game twice. So they're all or nothing. They either lose in the Sweet 16 or they lose in the championship game. Not much middle ground.
Meanwhile, Murray State can never find a Sweet 16.
Except when John Morant was there.
No,
Actually, whenever I thought whenever Isaiah Cannon was with us that we made it to the Sweet 16. I could have swore we did, or the Elite Eight.
Double check here and see. I think they
It was 2000.
was McMahon the coach then, or was McMahon the coach then, or
That was
No,
pro.
Steve Prohm.
from? That's right.
Yeah, I
That's
think
right.
we made it to
Well, I'll tell you
the
what,
Elite Eight.
Ain't that some crazy shit? Speaking of Iowa State, Steve Prohm last year has 2 wins. He gets shit bagged. They shit bag him. Guy who replaces him, TJ Oldsberger, fucking has Iowa State 1 game away from the Elite Eight. Crazy shit.
Here's a fun fact: Steve Prohm is my uncle's wife's cousin, first cousin.
Tell Steve Prohm to bring his ass on this fucking radio show, and we could talk to him about how fucking Matt McMahon's crazy for taking that LSU job after the dumpster fire Will Wade left behind.
Steve Prohm is getting ready to be reintroduced as Murray State's new head basketball coach, but y'all didn't hear that from me.
That's a smart move. That's a very smart move.
They're thinking
The grass is greener on the other side. I'll just put it that way. And I'm telling you, Matt McMahon just made a huge mistake. I'm telling you that right now. Matt McMahon made a huge fucking mistake.
he's chasing dollar signs.
It's not worth it, though. Not for that fucking job. People don't understand the hammer that's going to be laid on LSU basketball. Will Wade committed 47 different allegations. He committed 47 different fucking NCAA violations at LSU. They're about ready to get the book slammed on him. And that's the fucking mess that Matt McMahon's walking into. I understand it. And I love Murray State. I love what that fucking program's done. I know Murray State's not a forever job, but I wouldn't leave for the sake of leaving, not for LSU, not this LSU team that's about ready to get the book thrown at him.
LSU must have been offer him so much money that he didn't care about wanting to dumpster fire.
The problem with Murray State coaches is we are a small college. We are a small team. And anytime a coach gets whenever Steve Prohm, I could have swore, I remember it was like 2011, 2012. Isaiah Cannon was on that team, Ed Davis. And I could have swore that we made it to the Elite Eight and we lost at the Elite Eight, or maybe it was Sweet 16, but it was one of those two. And
I'll tell you in a minute.
the next year, Isaiah Cannon and Steve Prohm returned. Then as soon as Isaiah went pro, Prohm left. Prohm knew that KJ Williams was going to go pro this year. McMahon knew that Williams was going to go pro, but he ain't signing an agent. And Tevin Brown went pro, but he did sign an agent. He knew that team was going to go somewhere, so he didn't want to stay stuck in the rebuilding phase of it. He was offered $20 million. I think Murray State was only paying him $3 or $4 million. He jumped on it. Out of that $20 million, $12 million of it's guaranteed.
I get that. I really do. Chase that cash. Go to a higher profile job. I get it, but there have been plenty out there that he could have got. South Carolina, Missouri. There are jobs opening on a regular basis that he could have taken that, he could have in Florida, for God's sakes. LSU is going to be a dumpster fire for several years, and it's going to be difficult for any coach, let alone Matt McMahon, to clean that mess up. How much is enough? To me, I'm just waiting and seeing if any of these other jobs throw me a bone.
But the thing is, it's the name. It's LSU. When you think about it, LSU comes knocking. What's that Peckerwood football coach that got in trouble at LSU that they said they didn't want him no more? What's his name? He was on the blind side.
Les Miles?
He was Ole Miss's coach.
Oh, Ed
Uh,
Ogeron.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah,
him.
yeah. I mean, he's a prime example of it. He thought that he could come into LSU because he did pretty decent at Ole Miss, and it's a whole nother ball game. That whole organization, atmosphere, and everything is a whole nother ball game. And I see Matt McMahon lasting maybe 2 years. I mean, if
Yeah,
that.
he lasts, maybe if he's lucky, he lasts 4 years. I think they'll give him a couple of years right off the bat because they know he's walking into a shitstorm. But I don't think he lasts much more than beyond 2 or beyond 4 if he doesn't get quick progress after the first 2. And that's what I'm wondering is like, look, LSU's a name brand, but so is Florida. Fuck, dude, Florida hired the guy that they beat, the coach of the fucking team they beat in the first, or the team that they beat in the first round, San Francisco. They hired San Francisco's coach Todd Golden. I mean, I don't, fuck, Missouri hired Chattanooga's coach. South Carolina hired Chattanooga's coach. I think it was. Missouri hired Dennis Gates. I mean, they hired Cleveland State's fucking coach. I mean, it's like these are jobs that Matt McMahon could have had easily, in my opinion.
I would have seen him going to South Carolina because of the relationship he had with the community in South Carolina. I mean, hell, he was there. He was invited there from South Carolina
Yeah.
to scout Tevin Brown, and that's where he discovered Jaw.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
It don't make no sense. I mean, I have my own opinions of John Morant. I mean, right now, and since we're talking about Murray State, he was at the Legends Night, and I had a lot of respect for Ja. And I know this ain't a John Morant back thing. If anybody that knows him that's listening, I hope y'all get this message to him that he needs to be more professional with his fans. I get it. You don't want to sign an autograph for an adult. I'm cool with that. But whenever you have a kid that you're their hero that is saying, hi, Ja, and just like making a big deal about it, don't ignore those kids, man.
No,
Don't.
that's shitty.
He
I mean,
stayed on his phone and looked down, would not even look up to acknowledge them. And then the next day, he was going to the All-Star game. And I seen him and his dad and all of his entourage on his private jet acting like a bunch of clowns, drunk clowns. And I'm like, Murray State gave this guy a chance. No one else was giving him a chance. Murray State gave him a chance. We was there rooting him on. We cheered him. And he shits on our community. I mean, I've heard stories. And I've seen there's this kid, and I mean, I'm not this again. This ain't a John Morant bash session, but it's just like we're on the subject of Murray State. There's this kid that works at the local Zaxby's up here, and he's Joey. You picked up food, Murray. You know the kid that come up there that hobbles out. Got some kind of disability. He's kind of slow.
I haven't seen him in a while, but continue.
All right. Well, Ja came through the drive-thru one day, and he ordered food, and they told him to go over there and park. This kid was the biggest John Morant fan, and he went out there with a napkin and a Sharpie, just wanting Ja's autograph. He brings Ja his food. He says, Mr. Morant, will you sign this for me? Will you sign this for me? They told that kid to get the fuck out of his face.
a disabled kid.
A disabled kid. I swear to God.
Okay, that's
God
fucked up.
wow.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. All right, not a kid, especially not a disabled kid. Let's just remember this.
17 years old. Kid is 17 years old.
That's fucked up. I mean, let's just remember there was a point once upon a time that you were an unranked recruit whose only major offers were from Maryland, Eastern Shore, fucking Wofford, and Duquesne. Okay, and Murray State. Let's not get too ahead of yourselves here, and let's not forget where you came from, because there's an old saying my mentor in college once told me: you meet the same people on the way up that you do on the way down. Let's not get full of your own shit. If you're not going to sign for adults, I get it. Okay, I know there's asshole scalpers out there that are going to sell the shit on eBay, and you worry about that. That's fine. Don't stiff a disabled kid with a fucking napkin. Come on. Don't be a fucking douchebag.
If it wasn't for the manager and the kid himself sitting there saying the kid was really upset because, like, y'all know I was manager of this delivery service. I went up there and I was talking with Menu, and I'm like, hey, John's going to be there for a retirement ceremony. And they're like, fuck John Morant. And they told me what he did. And it's just like I lost a lot of respect for him, and it's like his retirement ceremony. I talked to his dad, T. T's cool as hell, down to earth. But since Ja has gone pro, he is a total different person. He's not the same John Morant that, was happy and all about the Murray State community. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, him and his, I thought a lot of this man. I did. But whenever I seen that and I heard that, and, I've heard stories where he's went to other restaurants in Murray and people come up to him and approached him like the night before or the same night that he was supposed to have his jersey retirement up there. People went up to him at Mr. B's wanting his autograph, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my face." I mean, that's how he is. He'll ignore you. I get it. Be like, "Hey, I'm not signing. Hey, what's up?" Shake your hand, get a picture taken with you. I'm not signing because I don't want you making money off my name. Cool. But we're your fans. We gave you the chance, and if you weren't for our organization, you wouldn't be where you are. We're not saying kiss our ass. We're saying, hey,
Have a little fucking.
We give you respect. We want respect back. I mean, look at Isaiah Cannon. Isaiah Cannon comes every summer to Murray State. He holds a basketball camp. Granted, Isaiah Cannon ain't the player that I hoped he would have been in the NBA, but he's overseas. He's making millions of dollars. He has played in the NBA. Dan Lange, I don't know if you remember that name. Dan Lange played at Vanderbilt. He went to Marshall County. I was going to high school with him.
Yep.
He right now coaches Little League football at Marshall County High School. He's a Little League football coach and a girls volleyball coach. I ref high school football. I go up there to Dan all the time. I'll bring a sports card to Dan. He laughs at it. He signs it for me. Yeah, he's not as big as Ja is, but the thing is, you're a fan. You're a fan. Acknowledge your fans. You wouldn't be there if it wasn't for them. But Ja, man, whenever we was talking about Murray State, that just got me off on a bad subject. And it's like any other player you can come up to. Jonathan Stark, nice guy. I have him a friend on Facebook. Y'all can look. Jonathan Starks and Tevin Smith, all these other Murray State guys, man. But I just don't understand how fame could get to a certain player's head and just shit on their whole community.
Yeah, that's just, I can't fathom why somebody would be like that to a community to embrace them with open arms. Now, granted, I'm also going to tell you that doesn't surprise me. Not with Ja, but unfortunately, that is the case a lot where sometimes people forget where they came from. They get a little bit of fame and the shit gets to their head. And they completely abandon who they were. And they completely abandon. I saw it all the time in MMA. I've seen it in pro wrestling. I've seen it in sports. These dudes get a fucking ego, and their ego, it's out of control. Thank you. And it's sad, and it saddens me. It saddens me to hear that somebody like that, who seemed like such a humble guy, has become such a fucking egomaniac that he'll disrespect kids, especially ones with disabilities, that way. I just it's heartbreaking to hear, really, because like I said, I always took Morant as a humble guy that wouldn't forget where he came from.
I did too. It bothers me because, like I said, I mean, I got pictures I could upload of me and his dad. His dad taking the time and talking, and his mom even signing autographs. Jaws' mom sitting there the night that he retired his jersey, signing autographs. His ex-girlfriend signing autographs, and they were the ones talking to the fans after the game. Ja didn't show up one time. His daddy, his mama, and his baby mama all sat there and took times to talk to the fans. All sat there. And if it was Isaiah Cannon, Isaiah's ass would have been out there. If it was Cameron Payne, his ass would have been out there. I mean, it's just whenever you're good. It's like Michael Jordan. Whenever Jordan came to the league, at first he was signing autographs. He was all about the kids. And then after he won his first championship, he was like, fuck those kids.
Yeah.
He's a
fucking asshole too. He always was, but well, funny thing is, I was going to ask you to keep an eye out on for a Murray State John Morant jersey now, but fuck that. I won't rock his shit. I don't care if he fucking scores 1,000,000 points. I wouldn't rock his fucking. No, I just got to find another Murray State jersey to keep an eye out on.
I'm telling you, KJ Williams, man, KJ Williams. If he gets
Wow.
looked at, he's smart that he didn't sign with an agent because he could always come back. But he was like OBC Player of the Year. I mean, he's a beast. He's a power forward / center. I think he would be a killer for a good team that needs that help in the post. I mean, he's coachable, very coachable.
Well, if you find any racer jerseys down there, you know what you got to do, right? You know you can hook a brother up, right?
I know. Speaking of racers and March Madness, so we're at the Sweet 16. We got 16 to actually we got less than 16 teams left. It's
We're at about 14 now.
14, and right now we have Texas Tech up 40-38 with about 17 minutes to go in the second. So who do y'all see in the Final Four? Y'all's prediction?
Fuck. At this point, it's hard to even predict because, two of the teams I predicted got to shit. They got bounced. Like Baylor got bounced. I had them winning it all in one of my brackets. And Gonzaga, I had some going far. They're bounced.
Okay, who's still standing?
Right now, it's Houston or Arizona in one. You got Duke or Texas Tech in the other. You got St. Peter's and Purdue. I think we all can agree St. Peter's has been a hell of a nice story. A 15 seed has never made it to the Elite Eight. I don't think they're beating Purdue tomorrow, so I think we can chalk Purdue in there. Who the fuck else is playing? Arkansas, they're in the Elite Eight. Who the hell else won? Villanova. So it's Arkansas, Villanova. They're the two Elite Eight tickets punched. I think we could safely put Purdue in. You got Kansas, Providence as well tomorrow, and Iowa State, Miami.
Okay, so I'm going to probably say Iowa State, St. Peter's. And what are the other two matchups?
Iowa State, St. Peter, or Iowa State. You picked Iowa State and St. Peter's. That's North Carolina, UCLA.
Probably North Carolina. I think they have a lot. They have a lot of momentum still.
And that's Providence, Kansas.
Kansas.
And let's take a look at this bracket here real quick. Take a look at what would be from there. Who you got tomorrow, AJ?
Tomorrow I got St. Pete winning. I got Miami winning. Who else is tomorrow?
Providence and Kansas and UCLA, UNC.
I have UNC winning, of course. And I guess I'll go with Kansas. Kansas, UNC, St. Pete, and who the fuck I just say? Damn, I can't.
Iowa State, Miami.
Miami's another team that besides, I mean, God, Miami, who they knocked off last week? They knocked off number 2 Auburn.
Yeah, they beat some good teams, Auburn and USC.
I mean,
Beat some good teams to get to this point.
This has been a very exciting March Madness.
Absolutely. My picks for tomorrow. I mean, I'm the only Joe, who do you got tomorrow? I completely disrespected Joe by forgetting him there, and I didn't forget him. Joe, who do you got tomorrow?
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just outside looking at a peacock, debating whether or not I need to shoot it.
Be careful. We're going to get canceled by fucking PETA if you keep talking like that.
That's fine. We'll just stream on Peacock.
Oh, fuck.
That's what UK going to be doing.
Speaking of Peacock, isn't there the ones who paid for the cheerleaders to go to the dance?
Yes. I think so. Oh, no, seriously. Tomorrow I've got UNC, St. Pete. What else we got?
Oh, we got UNC. Let's see. Tomorrow's games. We have North Carolina, UCLA,
North Carolina, no question.
Purdue, St. Pete's.
St. Pete,
Kansas,
not-
Providence.
kind of hard not to bet against them. Nope, Kansas, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And Iowa State, Michigan, or my Iowa State, Miami. Jesus.
We'll go with Miami on that one.
And then Iowa State, Miami. Miami. All right. Let's see. My other one. Fuck. I've
Playing JP.
mine. Man, North Carolina looking bipolar. They really are. They're so bipolar. They can out any team left in the tournament. I truly believe that. I would have even said that if Gonzaga would have won. And I thought Gonzaga had the best rebounding team in the tournament. But North Carolina cannot rebound anybody, and they're electrifying from 3-point range. The problem is their defense sucks, and they're fucking bipolar. They are. That Baylor game was an issue of how they play. When they're on, they're red hot. When they're off, it's like they did. They have to play. I mean, if they play like they did in overtime and for the first half and for second half against Baylor, they'll beat UCLA. Problem is, if they play like shit like they did in the last 9 minutes, they'll get beat.
Yep.
I don't trust North Carolina to put a full. Go ahead.
Right now, the way it's looking, the way Coach
Go ahead,
K's
bro.
playing, the way Coach K's playing right now, or having his team playing right now, not too hard. They're down by 4 or 15. Anything can happen. They can get on a streak. But you know, I have this whole philosophy. If you look at sports in the last 3 years, when it's the farewell tour for any player, big coach, it's sort of favored. It's almost favored that they go far. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's planned out in a locker room with the refs or NCAA thing. You know, it's like a couple years ago, it was the I think it was the Chiefs and the Niners. Wasn't that who the Super Bowl was a couple years ago? Chiefs and the Niners.
Yep.
And we were all like, hey, I mean, that's basically who it was 50 years ago. And it's like, it was almost like the NFL wanted the 50th anniversary to be like the 50th anniversary team. And there were so many of us calling that crap. And you know, I don't know. Sports is so weird nowadays. It's like,
I don't know. Big Ben didn't go very far last year.
Year before that he did though, and they all thought that was going to be his done. He was done after that. They all did.
Fair
I
enough.
mean,
Right.
that Steelers team was red fucking hot, and like Brady, you know, that year that he won that last Super Bowl, they all thought that was going to be it. I mean, the Chiefs were red fucking hot. They were red smoking hot, and everybody thought that, you know, the Chiefs were going to go to Tampa and mow Brady over. And it happened to be the opposite.
Right.
Peyton Manning, prime example. You had an undefeated Carolina Panthers team going into the playoffs. I mean, undefeated from a Broncos team that Brock Osweiler saved their ass in the playoffs because Peyton was hurt. And Peyton comes in there and wins the Super Bowl. I mean, you just think about it. I mean, do you think it's really a coincidence all those things happen?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, speaking of coincidence,
But my picks for tomorrow, real quick. I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna go North Carolina. I'm gonna go to UCLA, Purdue. I'm gonna be the only one that goes against St. Peter's. My heart says St. Peter's. My head says Purdue. Kansas and fucking Miami. We're gonna do a show next week. I guess we could do a show next week and pick up. Well, I guess Eli Day, it's Saturday, ain't it?
Yep.
Fuck. All right, so might as well roll with that. Who do you guys got in Eli Day? You guys had Arkansas. It's tough to pick. Arkansas, the winner of Texas Tech, Duke. I mean, that's tough to pick because that's matchup indicative. I could see fucking Arkansas beating either of them, but Texas Tech defensively is a nightmare matchup for any fucking team. So I can see Arkansas beating Duke, but I can't see them beating Texas Tech.
I'll just go and say it right now. I think Texas Tech has the best defense left in the tournament.
Yeah, they do. They
I
do.
I think Texas Tech and Arkansas is going to be probably, if it comes down to it, I think that's going to be the game of the tournament. It's going to be a
Yeah,
very back and forth game.
if Texas Tech can get past Duke, that's going to be a fucking slugfest with them in Arkansas.
Yep, number 3 and number 4 going at it. It's going to be something. But St. Pete, we've been picking fun at them, but the one thing that coach has taught them because he played the same way at Seton Hall whenever in 2000. He knows how to get in the opponent's heads, and that's how he beat Murray State and Kentucky. It wasn't all physical. It wasn't all skill. He knew how to play the mind games of making. God, you looked at Burns from Murray State. He was beyond himself. He could not shake anything that was going on. And St. Pete, they rolled with it. And same thing with Kentucky. They were getting in the minds of the players, making them drawing the fouls that, they can't believe that they're getting called fouls on. It's basketball's, I would say 75% physical and then 25% mental. And the way he coaches is 50% mental and 50% physical. It's a very mental game, and he knows how to get in the head of these players.
I hate to correct you, AJ, but in the OVC, it's 50% physical, 25% mental, and 25% refs.
Yeah, I ref with a lot of these guys that's in the OVC or officiating. They officiate local high school sports here, and very, very few of us get the privilege of reffing college, and those that do, I ref with some of them. And
does the health plan include vision?
No. Yeah, a lot of them that have that privilege of reffing middle school and high school, and they're older than me, of course. They drive the school buses. They get the state insurance.
But does it include vision?
I guess. Well, I don't know. It's Kentucky. We're
doesn't, because it shows.
It's Kentucky. We're a poor ass state. What do you expect?
Well, there you go.
We make good baseball bats and are good with horses.
Yeah. Good McDonald's hamburgers too, I guess. Wait, bad joke. Never mind.
Well, maybe they have a good big boy somewhere out in Lexington.
Oh my God.
The worst fucking restaurant I've ever ate in my life. I would starve to death before I'd eat at that fucking shithole again.
That might be one for the after hours episodes.
My wife is not a fucking mean-spirited person by any means. I'm the asshole of our family. I'm telling you, I'm the asshole, but she's there. This place fucking sucks. I mean, she's like, this place is garbage. Fuck this place. That's not my wife. That's not my wife at all. That's like,
I don't know. Me and Joey had a pretty bad Waffle House out in Benton one time.
Oh,
I gotta hear this story.
A good Waffle House bad experience.
All right, so we're sitting there having our food. I drink my ice water. Takes them forever to get our food out there. I'm waiting for the guy to come back so I can get some more water. He walks right past our table, starts flirting with his girlfriend, then goes outside to have a smoke. He never checked on us again except to give us the bill.
Yeah, it's Marshall County.
That's the version.
oh, Jesus.
I was never more ready to punch a waiter.
Oh, God, yeah. So he's trying to get his fucking Mac on.
Speaking of punches, besides March Madness, like I said earlier, it's also WrestleMania season. And that is actually next weekend, gentlemen. Let's talk about WrestleMania a little bit. Yeah, this year's already flying by. God, it feels like just yesterday. It was Christmas morning. My kids are opening their presents, and now next weekend is the 1st of April.
Oh, man. You know what's crazy? In a month, it'll be a year since that fucking ill-fated fucking trip to that big boy. It's been a year since I've been back from Arizona almost already. That's unmoved. Fuck. Anyway, go ahead.
So we got WrestleMania again. It's another 2-night event. I can't remember the last time it was a 1-night event. In my opinion, I say they should cram all that shit on one night instead of having it two. I mean, remember that, Joe? Y'all were over my house, and it started like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and went all the way to midnight. And it worked well. And I drove to fucking Jacksonville, Florida, the whole night to the next day. But we got 2 nights. Main eventing the first night is the KO show with Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. And night 2, we have main eventing is Brock and Lesnar. I mean, Brock and Lesnar. Brock and Reigns. I'm sorry, it's getting late. So, in your opinion, what do you think Austin is going to do? Do you think it's going to end up actually being a match? I know we've heard through the grapevine that, Austin is going out on his own and he wants to go out the way he wants to. Or do you think it's going to be one of these brawls that, I know that he comes in there and beats the hell out of Owens and stuns him a couple of times.
That's what's going to happen.
I'm pretty much on your side of that. I'm surprised that he even had the rest of the Texas Legends coming out with Booker T and Shawn Michaels coming out with him. And
here's how it's going to go down. Owens is going to come out there and talk shit about the guys from Texas. Him and Austin are going to get into a schmoz. Austin's going to beat the fuck out of him, give him a stunner. Then the Texas Legends are going to come out there and hit all their finishers on him. Let me tell you why this is, AJ, and anybody feel free to tell me I'm full of shit.
No,
It'll be the first time.
You're on, Mark. Go on.
Okay. All these legends come out of retirement. Shawn Michaels, fucking Undertaker, whatever, they all come out of retirement. They all get main events of WrestleManias, Rock. They all get main events of WrestleManias or even the Saudi Arabia shows. And I know people say, fuck the Saudi Arabia shows. Who gives a fuck about them? But let's be honest, whether we like it or not, those Saudi Arabia shows have taken on the WrestleMania vibe. They're as big of a shows as the WrestleManias are now, whether we like it or not. Steve Austin had what he has oftentimes called the picture perfect retirement. Okay. And I say this with no disrespect to Kevin Owens. If Steve Austin comes out of retirement, he's not coming out of retirement to have a fucking match with Kevin Owens on the 6th match of an 8-match card on night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania. He's coming back and wrestling Reigns or Lesnar to close the fucking show. So this is going to be a fucking brawl with schmaz, some bullshit where he does a stunner and the other Texas guys come out there and they send the segment home happy. That's what it's going to be. Like I said, if he comes back, it's going to be something much bigger than this.
Okay. What do you think this is a one and done though?
Nope. I don't know. I mean, the guy turned down a Mania main event against fucking CM Punk. I mean, the guy turned down a Mania main event multiple times. He's turned down matches with the Undertaker at main event Mania against Taker. I mean, this guy's turned down big fucking money matches. I honestly think he's content with how his career ended.
Well,
And he doesn't need this shit. He doesn't need this fucking shit. That's the thing. Some of these guys have felt unfulfilled. Now, granted, Dwayne The Rock Johnson doesn't fucking need it either, but he still keeps doing it. I think Steve Austin's content with how his career ended. He doesn't, I never thought Shawn Michaels would come back either, so I'll never say never, but I think this is just him. I think it's just like when he fucking refereed that match at Mania with Brock and Goldberg. I think that's all it's going to be.
I read an interview today or yesterday that he said that no, it wasn't yesterday, it was a couple of days ago. That he said that he's coming back because he feels like this is the way he wants to go out, but he didn't like the way he went out before. And this way it's on his terms and his body feels like he's in best shape of his life. Now, we are in media. Y'all know how the press is. Y'all know how people like to say shit that they didn't really say to make it sound like a better article. Say he did say that. And this is a warm up for the next, God, what is the next big event? SummerSlam. Say
Right.
SummerSlam or
One of the fucking shows in Jeddah.
or something like that, you know, and he comes back there and has a match there. And it's almost like, you know, if he does do it, then it's like great, you know, you get to relive your childhood a little bit more. But then it's like, why the fuck did you settle for this kind of match whenever you could have made so much money with CM Punk? You could have made so much other money and made a better story. Fucking Hogan, you know, Hogan was ready to go. Austin kept backing
Yeah.
out. Austin,
Yeah.
Austin and Hogan, that would have been the biggest fucking match. And it was like 2005, 2006. Hogan sitting there calling Austin a pussy at the Hall of Fame introduction. And Hogan's like, let's go, let's do it. You know, and Austin and Hogan's like, I got my bag in the back, we'll go. And Austin just running his cocksucker, you know.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. He turned down a match with Hulk Hogan, which would have been the biggest fucking match in professional wrestling history. Think about that. Hulk Hogan versus fucking Steve Austin. You would not have seen and I'm not saying it would have been a great match by any means, because it wouldn't have been, but you would not have had a bigger box office attraction than Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin. He turned that shit down. Hell, Steve Austin versus The Undertaker when the streak was still a thing at Mania. Come the fuck on now. Come the fuck on.
Yep.
Hell, even Austin versus Punk, he turned that down. That's why people say, oh, Austin's wrestling to Kevin Owens at Mania. Horse shit. No, he's not.
You know,
And I have no disrespect towards Kevin Steen. That's not a knock on Owens. I like Owens a lot. Why would he turn those fucking things down and come back and wrestle Kevin Owens on match 6 of an 8-match card? Fuck that. No way.
I'm sorry. You guys
Go
saw
ahead,
the
bro.
promo that Austin gave accepting Owens' challenge, didn't you?
I saw it.
Is it my imagination, or did Austin really not seem like he was all there for that promo?
He wasn't.
I
He's
think,
going through the motions.
I think this is a one and done. I think they were I think WWE was desperate because they've done this bloodletting of so much talent that they were like, oh, let's grasp at straws here, see what we can pull up.
I'm telling you, I don't. If it's not a one and done, it's not going to. But that's the fucking thing, though. If he's going to do a WrestleMania, doing it in his home state would make perfect fucking sense. But it's going to be closed to fucking show. It's going to be closed to fucking show, and it would be against somebody like Reigns. But by all accounts and purposes, I mean, maybe it'd be next year in Los Angeles because that is his adopted home state, or that is his adopted hometown, whatever the fuck. He does live there, or he did anyway. But by all accounts and purposes, that's Dwayne's spot. You know, the Dwayne's going to come out after fucking, spoiler alert, close your fucking ears if you don't want to hear it.
I know where you're going with this. I read it today.
Close your fucking ears. Okay, it's been long enough. After fucking Roman vanquishes Brock and fucking unifies the belts for a couple of minutes until they decide to fucking take one of the belts off and put it on somebody else, by all accounts and purposes, it's going to be Roman and Dwayne at Mania next year. So I don't know. But I think if Steve does come back, that's the kind of match he's going to have against Roman Reigns to close out of Mania, or against Brock Lesnar to close out of Mania.
Yeah, they're talking about that this is going to be the first year they announced the main event since Brock and Cena.
Yeah.
Since Brock and Cena, this is going to be the first Mania that they're going to let the main event be known a year before.
I got a better question for you. As messed up as Austin's body is, you think he might not hurt himself doing a stunner now?
I doubt it. He's been training. He's been training hardcore on his ranch, man.
He dropped fucking Lesnar and Goldberg. I've seen it with stunners back in 06 when that debacle of a shit fest match happened, and his neck he was worse off then. So I mean, I don't expect a whole hell of a lot in this. It's going to be a fucking couple of punches, drop him with the stunner, and get the fuck out of there, and let Booker and Michaels and the other jabrones come in there and do their thing. You know what I mean?
Speaking
You
of
know-
debacle, that's your homework assignment for tonight, listeners. Go look up that match on Peacock.
Not the second one. Not the second one that was actually a passable fucking decent match.
Look up
Actually,
WrestleMania 20, Madison Square Garden, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg.
yeah, both quit and neither gave a fuck. That's the thing. Both quit right before the match. Goldberg's contract was up. Brock quit to go fucking play football. Yeah.
I bring this up because, folks, that's the only time you will ever see a time when the referee is more over than either combatant.
Yep.
The entire fucking crowd turned on them both. It was beautiful.
Now, I will tell you this. Here's my prediction. I predict that there will be some sort of a brawl match that Austin actually is in ring gear when he comes out there. It won't be as tight, so it'll be shorts. And reading from what Jim Ross has said, Jim Ross said that he has been training down his ranch. He has a ring there that he does train on. I honestly believe Saudi Arabia, we will see Austin versus Goldberg.
Oh, fuck that.
God.
Oh,
no.
fuck.
I see.
See,
Austin
here's the
versus
thing, though.
Goldberg.
Here's the whole thing, though, AJ. And we're hearing all this stuff about Austin, that all these things leaking from the Austin camp. With as protective as he is, and as much as he protects his privacy and his private, and as much as he keeps kayfabe close to the vest, how much of this do you believe?
The Goldberg and the Austin is my theory. The JR stuff with JR being AEW and Austin really isn't as close to JR as JR thinks they are.
Yeah.
I really predict. I don't know. I don't know. I have predicted things so much in the past that make sense, and it being WWE, that makes no sense. I mean, for God's sakes, we might have Doink the Clown fucking coming out instead of Austin.
And we're talking to Ray Apollo version. Obviously, the original Doink the Clown. If he comes out for WrestleMania, I'm gonna fucking buy everybody here front row tickets to the fucking next year's Mania. But well, I'll tell you right now, though, Goldberg and fucking Austin, I'd rather shave my ass with a machete than see that match. But
Another name that's talking about that's going to be there at Mania and is rumored to take on Sasha Banks is Trish Stratus. And
that didn't they already announce? Don't want to cut you off. Didn't they already announce that horseshit fucking tag team bullshit? But go ahead. Keep going.
I don't know. I mean, Trish said that she's being at Mania. She's bringing her boots and she's waiting on Sasha. So
I thought she's bringing her boobs.
Boots.
Oh, sorry.
Her ass is better than her tits anyway. My opinion.
I wouldn't say no to either of them, but that's
Well, AJ, thanks for letting me know about that, because now I know what my piss break match is going to be for Mania.
Another match. Let's see. You got Logan Paul and The Miz taking on the Mysterios.
Speaking of piss breaks for $500.
Yeah, I could have a long match about the Logan and the Paul brothers in general. But continue.
Yeah, both the Paul brothers can go fuck themselves. I have no interest in seeing anything involving Logan or his dumbass brother.
When you go to Japan and go to the forest known for suicide and film a dead body, that's all I'll say.
Speaking of things I'd rather shave my ass with a fucking hacksaw than watch. Go ahead.
You know what? We gave JP the floor to go on his Tyreek Hill rant. Joey, you ain't had much floor time. You have the floor here.
No, I've said what I said. It is completely disrespectful that some years ago they got the Pauls a lot of heat. They went to Japan. I think it may have been Logan. I forget which Paul it was. One of the brothers. They went to Japan. There's a forest in Japan that's known for suicides. People go there to commit suicide. It's a known fact. I wish it wasn't. while they were there filming with their cameras for a YouTube video and filmed someone that actually committed suicide, the dead person in the forest. And
The Paul
uploaded it to
brothers
their
did that?
One of the Paul brothers did.
Fucking douchebags.
And uploaded it to YouTube and got flamed, rightfully so, for it.
They're fucking scumbags, man. They're just,
So
Yeah, I'll find-
that is my pick match.
Yep, mine too. I mean, I've never been. I don't pay attention to anything those fucking idiots do. I don't pay attention to their sham boxing fights. I don't pay attention to fucking. I didn't pay attention to his bullshit he did at last year's WrestleMania. I'm not going to pay attention to this horse shit either. I mean, and that's a shame because I genuinely enjoy fucking. I genuinely enjoy the Mysterios, and I enjoy the Miz. I'm no.
I hope Miz stands his high. Legitimately.
Yep.
Not
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not talking about like in character. No, I hope he tames his high.
Well,
I hope so.
Guest appearance, we got Johnny Knoxville against Sami Zayn.
That's gonna be fun.
Johnny Knoxville takes his shit seriously. I'll give him credit.
Did you hear that pop he got whenever he came out at Rumble?
Yep.
Down.
Including the one he got in the living room here. From those of us watching.
I don't mind certain celebrities. I don't mind the celebrity involvement. It's just these Paul brothers are fucking reprobates that need to go fucking do something else. Stay out of our fucking business. Anyway, but that's like Johnny Knoxville though. He's like Bad Bunny. He takes it seriously. He fucking brings something to it. I have no problems with it. What he and Sami Zayn have going on is pretty entertaining. Like when he put Sammy's phone number up, that was funny shit.
That was great.
Please stop. Let's see.
Apparently that was the actual phone number too, so that was great.
We've
Did
got
any of you call it? Did any of you call it?
No, apparently by the time I heard about it, he already turned his phone off.
Another match that is rumored is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins.
That'll be good.
Cody Rhodes, I really don't think he's going to show. I really don't think he's going to show. I believe more that it's going to be Undertaker versus Seth Rollins than anything. He's going to, and I don't think Undertaker's going to actually have a match. I think Rollins is going to come out there and start running his mouth and saying he wants his moment, and then Taker's going to come out there and give him his moment because it would make sense because Taker's being inducted this year. I really don't see them bringing Cody in as a surprise for Mania unless it's after Taker walks up the ramp and Cody comes out there and starts a program with him that goes to the next pay-per-view. But there's no backstory to it. It would make more sense for Taker to come out. I mean, if WWE is going to go that way, not having a backstory, I mean, that's fucking pathetic.
So you think they debut him on the Raw after?
I think they'll pull a Bret Hart, if you will, how Bret Hart did with WCW. He came out after the match, and saves it or does something like that. I see him coming out the night after. And I'll take that back. I see him coming out on Mania, but not having a match. I see Taker coming out there and having a moment with Rollins,
Yeah.
So like, remember how Rock did that with the Wyatt family a few years ago? And then Cody coming out and making an appearance and hitting Rollins with something right after Taker's already laid him out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That would make more
What do you
sense
think that-
than Cody showing up and, hey, I'm going to have a match with you and I've been gone for 3 fucking years.
That seems like I think Cody, and I know people will disagree with me vehemently online because they're already speculating that they're going to waste him and fucking put him back in the Stardust gimmick and horse shit like that. And I know we don't trust Vince McMahon as far as we can throw him, but they're bringing Cody back, and I don't know, maybe they will stick him back in Stardust or stick him in polka dots to make a fucking ass out of him. But I don't think they just poached the EVP of AEW to bring him in there and make him a fucking goofball. I honestly think they're going to have Cody be, because one of these two belts, Roman's winning the fucking belts. He's winning both the belts, but I don't think he's keeping both the belts. And I think Cody is winning one of the two belts off of Roman. Okay. I think Cody's going to win. I don't think they're going to bring, and this isn't a dig on Seth Rollins at all. At first I said, no, they're going to fucking have Cody wrestle at Mania, but no build, the more you say it, the more, the more I'm convinced. There's no build. There's no nothing. Hey, here I am. I'm going to wrestle Seth Rollins, who's just there. And again, no knock on Seth. It would be sort of a waste. You know what I mean? Okay, here I am. I'm Cody Rhodes. I'm showing up. Oh, by the way, yeah, here I am. Let's wrestle. Fuck, that is a waste. You're right.
I don't know. I mean, there's just so much ways that they could go with this, and I don't know. I'm not too excited, and with the AEW's doing, I'm not excited with that either. It's like wrestling's getting stale again, in my opinion, and it's been going down that road. It's been going down that road since COVID. Before COVID, I remember us being on Jam Session and sitting there and talking about fucking Miz jobbing to Bobby Lashley on TV, and it was exciting. We were seeing that excitement and all that. But since COVID hit, it's gotten stale. It's not got the luster it has. AEW's come out. They've had some high spots, but like we were talking before we went on air, CM Punk, man, he's that's about the only good thing that you have going on in AEW. I mean, yeah, MJF's pretty cool and a few others, but fuck.
Speaking of Bobby Lashley, I was reading on, I believe it was sportskita.com, that he might be coming back at WrestleMania to face Omos.
Oh, he is. They've already announced that.
Fuck.
And that's another thing that they're doing that has no backstory. Makes no fucking sense to why they're fucking doing it.
Oh, why are they doing? Lashley's fucked up though, and you're putting him in there with somebody as green as goose shit like Omos. That's a recipe for fucking disaster. Look, if they were going to do that,
now, gentlemen, is it me, or is this one of the more weaker booked WrestleManias we've seen in quite some time?
Well, who the fuck do they have? Who the fuck do they have?
Exactly.
The matches they have star power to them. I mean, Roman versus Brock is fucking huge, and that's the story they've told with that has been really good. It's been real good.
But it's
Ronda
also,
versus go ahead.
It's also turning in. Remember back in 08 or 09, Cena and Orton fought so much over the span of 6 or 8 months that they're like, all right, that's enough. Y'all ain't fighting each other no more. I mean, the story is being told very well, and it's probably some of the best storytelling the WWE has done in the last 5 years. But It's getting to the point to where how many fucking more times are y'all going to you're going to have fucking Brock coming out there ripping doors off vehicles and flipping shit and then getting laid out by fucking Uso super kick.
Yeah, you're right. And I think though the nice thing is I think that Mania, this is it. I think it's over after this. I think they move on to other things. It closes that chapter, assumably once and for all. Nice thing about it though is it's Brock as the face this time and Roman as the fucking heel. But you're right, it's getting to the point that we're starting to run its course. And for next week, it's fucking done.
You can only hope.
I don't know how much more they can fucking run with it after this. I don't know how much more they can polish the fucking story, But then just like, go ahead.
I mean, you got other ways to go with it. You got one of the Uso brothers turning against the other. I mean, you could have that side with Brock. I mean, you got so many other ways you can do it to prolong it, but I think they should have wrapped this shit up. In my opinion, they should have wrapped it up at Rumble, but Rumble was, in my opinion, and a lot of people can agree with me, was a fucking train wreck. But they really don't have any fucking body. They don't have anybody at all. They released half of their fucking roster, and
That's yeah. What fucking direction would they have gone at Mania if they'd have wrapped it up there though?
there was rumors of Rock and Roman at Mania. That was supposed to have been this year and not next year. But Rock signed on to do another movie because Rock was supposed to have approached that Survivor Series. He was supposed to have approached Roman then. So I don't know. They're at the point and at the mercy. All they have is to bring legends back. I mean, I see it by SummerSlam. They're going to have fucking Hacksaw out there.
God. The sad thing is, it's.
I just had a thought that could be a big WrestleMania surprise. Seth Rollins will come out there and say he wants his moment. What if they finally brought up Gable Stevenson?
I wouldn't be against that.
So if that happens, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Would that move the dick of enough people? I wouldn't be against that. I think that'd be really fucking. I mean, I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be a great way to introduce Gable Stevenson to the main roster.
I'm also hearing that what's her name? Rousey may not make it.
Yeah, I heard she's hurt. She's got a minor injury.
Oh God, what a fucking nightmare that would be. Well, let's be honest. This fucking feud with her and Charlotte has fallen so far, fallen so flat.
A lot of it is, man.
I mean, which honestly, hindsight being 2020, I know why they put her and Charlotte, and it's good they did because we needed to see Bianca get her comeuppance against Bex, but I for some reason think Ronda and Becky probably would have been more entertaining. Although I don't think WWE went the wrong direction with Becky, but this Charlotte Ronda feud has just been. It's just been bad, man. It's just been so flat. It's been so fucking lackluster. It's from the moment Charlotte no-sold the fucking spot. It's just been bad, dude. It's been disappointing.
It's all been bad, in my opinion. Even Edge and AJ has fallen short.
How so?
I just feel like Edge has tried too hard to be a heel in this program. Instead of letting it flow naturally, it's just little nuances I've noticed that make it feel like it's forced.
I think he's having fun.
Yeah, I think so too. I just don't understand why you needed to turn anybody heel in that fucking shit. Why you just couldn't have them have a fucking match.
No, you really didn't need to. I mean, if you're looking at it from that perspective, yeah, you could have just had the match. You didn't need to do that. And that's partially why I feel like it was forced.
There's just so many fucking heels on the roster and not enough faces. Edge was one of the few natural faces that everybody loved, and then you turn them heel when you didn't need to. This match would have been good. You didn't need to fucking turn Edge heel to fucking make this match fly. And yeah,
and the way Edge has been acting, it really feels forced.
It does. And the question is he going to be heel after WrestleMania, or are they going to turn him back face again? I mean, what the fuck?
It's reminiscent of years ago when they turned Shawn Michaels heel just to face Hulk Hogan, and then what happened the next week? He's back to being back face.
So if they do that, it's fucking stupid. What the fuck was the point? We're in 2021. We're 2022. Where you don't need a baby face. You don't need a heel for everything. It's sometimes just let it be natural.
And that's what I'm saying. That could have been your dark horse match for the night, and they found a way to screw that up.
Of course, it could have. There's just so much. I remember when we were kids, WrestleMania was the thing we were fucking most excited for. And this year it's just looking like such a fucking, it's just looking so. Is there any really, I mean, are there any of these matches that we're really standing on the edge of our seat waiting to see?
The only one that I honestly, you're gonna laugh at me. The only one I'm really interested in seeing is Owens and Austin. Because
And that's not even really a fucking match.
No, it's not. I mean, I if this wasn't the fourth time in a row that I'm watching Brock and Roman, I'd be excited. If it wasn't the rematch from a Mania 3 or 4 years ago, I'd be excited.
It's the third time they've presented.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I don't care who's face, who's heel, who's head of the table, who's side of the table, who's back of the table. I don't care. I don't care any of that. You know, it's the same storyline. It's one guy that's WWE shoving down your throat, and it's another guy from yesteryear that, you know, that used to be shoved down your throat. That's, you know, they're trying anything they can to get attention. I'm not sold on it. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's stale. I don't care about it. I probably won't be. I'll probably only watch Saturday night. Probably won't even watch Sunday. Hell, I didn't even watch WrestleMania last year because I mean,
gentlemen, but a new NCAA update. Houston leads Arizona by 10 with 7 minutes 10 seconds left.
Yeah, and Duke's getting ready to win.
Yep, they're up 30. They're 73-68 with 34.7 seconds left. So Coach K is going to survive. You know what's going to be fucked up, AJ? Watch it come down to Duke and North Carolina in the title game. Watch. Just fucking watch. Coach K's last game will be Duke versus North Carolina. Just watch.
It probably will be. It probably will be.
This is like
about. I'm sorry, wrong thing.
Sorry, I just say this that would be better pro wrestling than pro wrestling.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
People love a good fan-fueled SmackDown.
What was you going to say, Joey?
We've been talking about some theories. Rock has major like wrestling history with Nashville, correct? Like what's like didn't Rock say in the past he had like wrestling history with Nashville City?
With Nashville? I mean, he has some history with Memphis. He broke in Memphis as Flex Cavana, but I don't know if he's got too much with Nashville. I mean,
Well, I was thinking if they're going to, why? I mean, if they're going to announce Rock versus Roman for WrestleMania, if he has any kind of history with Nashville, I thought he did. Why not announce the match of a SummerSlam instead of WrestleMania? Well, I mean, not have a match and not have. I'm not saying have a match at SummerSlam, but announce the matchup of Roman and Rock at SummerSlam.
Okay.
No.
Let's look this up for you, Joey. It says here that he's called the city home during 3 different times in his life.
Okay.
Nashville?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I knew he fucking had ties to, I mean, obviously he has ties to Miami from when he played football there. I know he has ties to Bethlehem, PA. I know he wrestled in, like I said, he broke into the business in Memphis as Flex Cavana. I don't remember him living in Nashville. That's weird.
It says here
I don't remember that.
It says here he went to Glencliff High School and McGavock High School in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. Huh. Did he?
It says here on Google.
Maybe.
And according to outsider.com, it says, and I quote, turns out he's called the city home during 3 different times in his life. He says, I lived in Nashville as a kid, then moved back to Nashville when I was a troubled teen hanging out in honky-tonk bars on Broad Street, then moved back to Nashville to start my pro wrestling career.
Okay. Oh, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, I didn't know
that's
that.
my thinking was having him show up in Nashville to take on the head of the table.
Okay.
Announce his attention to.
Yep, Glencliff High School and McGavick High School, and then he finished up at Freedom High School in Bethlehem. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, he does have natural history. Huh. Be damned.
Well, guys, I think this has been a pretty good returning show. How about y'all?
Absolutely.
I think so.
I mean, I'm glad that we got the band back together, and this is the first of many to come, and going to add some more stuff to it. Bring some different faces up on here, and some different interviews, and approach different things. And as y'all seen tonight, we give it to you guys honest. We don't bullshit. We just, those that are afraid to say it, we're not.
My life's too short to fucking tiptoe.
Exactly. Well, JP, why don't you sign us off, brother?
All right, fellas. Well, hey, it's been a interesting night here on the show. Thanks y'all for tuning in. We'll be back here soon with some more content. Fuck, dude, 75, 73. Texas Tech still has new life. But hey, we'll be back to talk here more about pro wrestling and sports. Give it to you raw, uncooked, and uncut and uncensored. But for AJ, for JV, and for JD, I'm JP. Thanks for tuning in to the one and only Kings of the Round Table here on
Moondog
Network.
Network.
Gotcha.
Moondog Network.